Hello and welcome back. In this episode we're going to have a bit more of an in-depth look at the variants on the Type 73 light truck. Now, once in a while I get questions about how to decode the chassis number of a vehicle and how to determine which of the different variants their vehicle was. And sometimes it's the question of, why are there so many holes in the tub and what's missing from my Jeep? Because people are just trying to achieve some sort of completeness on their military Jeep. So in this one we're going to be looking at the later J24 models and the J23. The J25, which was the final version, is similar, but I don't have that much information about the chassis numbers. So I might try to do another video on that later. But the J24 has the most simple chassis codes, which you can see in this frame. The chassis code is on the frame and it's right below the side step on what would be passenger side of the vehicle. That's left side because they're right-hand drive. The digit code, as you can see, is very simple. There's one that starts with a 65, and these are for the G variants. And then there's this 7 number starting code, which is for the A and W variants. That's very simple. It's when we get into the J23s that things start to get a bit more interesting. You can see that there are multiple variants. At the top of this list, you've got the civilian J53, which we're not going into, then the models A, A2, P, K, W, and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through those one by one, and I'm going to put chapter marks in the video description so that you can just jump straight to a particular model that you're interested in. The A model is the basic troop carrier with 2 single rear seats plus 1 twin bench seat, and they mount for either a 5.56 or 12.7mm machine gun. The A2 is identical, but is fitted with a Type 3 radio set. The P model carries a Type 64 anti-tank missile launcher. This is an old-school optical sighting wire-guided system that started to be phased out in the 70s, but had persisted until the 90s. The K model has a Type 87 chu-mat anti-tank missile launcher. Both the Type 79 and Type 87 missiles are laser-sighted and wire-guided. The W welding set vehicle has an 11M DC generator which fits behind the driver's seat and is directly driven from a power takeoff. This 3-stage unit can supply DC current for welding up to 400 amps or 100 volt DC power up to a kilowatt to supply field lighting rigs, etc. The GE Type 79 JU-mat anti-landing craft laser-guided missile unit. This one uses a semi-armor piercing warhead with a delay fuse and has a 3-man crew. The GN model has a Type 79 anti-tank missile unit, which is very similar, just the warhead is different and has a shaped charge to pierce armor. And that one uses a 2-man crew, so the seating is slightly different between the two. The GE has a rear seat and the GN does not. All of the above models started to shift to the later 4DR6 engine that ran cleaner but presumably made less power during the production run. The S series that we're going to look at now kept the early spec engine. The Shibutsa system is much too large to be mounted on one vehicle. The missiles are guided from a command and control center on one large Type 74 truck and launched from the launch tubes on another. The initial flight leg relies on inertial guidance. The final stage is assisted by radar. The SR variant unit Jeeps have the target acquisition and tracking radar dish mounted on the roof. The data from that unit passes by cable to the SH unit. The SH unit can pass data by wireless to an SC unit, which in turn can feed data by cable to the actual SSM-1 command and control vehicle. All three of these variants got stiffer springs with extra leaves for the extra weight of the equipment carried, varying with type, with the SR being the heaviest. Special hardtops for the front cabins and revised softtops for the rear were used, and the front and rear cabins are separated by a privacy or blackout curtain. All three had revised exhaust systems to clear stabilizing jacks. All S models have type-specific equipment racks and mounts. The SR model gets a reinforcing frame for the roof-mounted equipment, and there are side ladders to access the radar unit, a cable box on the front right fender, a jack storage box on the front left fender. There are 4 special leveling jacks provided, each with a unique storage location. The SRSC models also had a front-mounted electric winch of US manufacture with 1500 kilos capacity and 45 meters of steel cable. The service manual makes special mention of the imperial fasteners. The SH and SC models have lights and electrical harnesses and wiring boxes for the rear cabins, plus mounts and brackets for the radio comms antennas. So I hope this clears up some of the confusion about the extra holes and mounts that you might find on your Jeep, and give you an idea which versions they were used for and what they got used for.